Good evening. I'd like to call the City Council meeting to order for May the 28th, 2026. Please stand for invocation and pledge.
Father, we thank you for the day that you've given us. We thank you, Lord, for your many blessings. We pray, Lord, that you will lead us, guide us, and direct us. And we'll give you the honor and praise for this we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. We understand there are a number of people here who may wish to address the council. In order for the meeting to proceed in an orderly manner, be advised that public comments on any issue before the council will be accepted after the City Council has concluded their initial discussion and received input from staff. When we ask for public comment, please raise your hand. You will be recognized to approach the podium, and at that time, you will need to state your name for the record and spell your last name. We ask that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes. After public comment has concluded, the council will readdress the issue at hand prior to action being taken. We also ask that you please silence your phones and please refrain from talking during the meeting. First on tonight's meeting is the consent agenda. Under tab 1 is the bills for the city of Freeport. And under tab 2 are the regular council meeting minutes from May 12th, 2026. And under tab 3 is the state highway lighting maintenance agreement. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda? If not, I'll ask the council for approval on the consent agenda.
Make the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brannon.
Aye.
And Councilman Dickey. Motion carried. Are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
Mayor Barley, I have a couple of things under this item. The first one is an
Matilda,
add-on.
can you speak in the mic? I'm sorry, because people won't be able to
sorry.
hear you.
Mayor Barley, I have a couple of items for the agenda tonight. I have an add-on. It's the APA conference attendance in Miami, Florida for continuing education. The other item I had for you is based on advice from the city attorney who was not able to be here tonight. And he advised that we should continue the Bayview PDP to a meeting where he will be present. I spoke to the owner and advised them that the city attorney said that the project would need to be continued to a specific date, and he requested that we continue it to the next available meeting, which in this case would be the July the 9th meeting.
Okay.
June 9th.
June, I don't mean to say July, I mean June.
Any other additions or deletions? Yes, sir.
I have one too, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Data centers,
I'm sorry.
data centers. Is that enough time for advertisement?
Because
that
we're
meeting?
doing it to a date certain, there will not have to be
Okay.
an additional advertisement. I
Okay.
confirmed.
Any others?
I have one under engineering, change order for the maintenance system.
Anyone else? If not, I'll ask for approval for the add-ons and deletions to tonight's meeting.
Make a motion to approve the add-ons and deletions. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brannon.
Aye.
And Councilman Dickey.
Aye.
Motion carried. Staff reports, we begin with the city manager.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. This thing on, there we go. I want to get out of line here a second and do the sewer tab, which is an update for all of you. A couple of meetings back, y'all authorized some staff members to go get FOG certified, and they did. It was Paul Johnson, Frank Grant, and Doug Goodwin, and they all got their FOG certification, which is related to grease trap management and maintenance and all that. So, want to get that one out of the way. So my item numbered 1, I wanted an additional approval. I've already approved this because it was under my spending limit, but because it is for the 3280 water tower and well, that's a new project for us. I wanted y'all to see this and approve it as well. It's an $8,000 increase for the pilot hole cuttings, and Alex will have to come tell you what that's about, but this is did bring up another topic that we need to discuss at a future meeting when Clay is here, which is we don't have contingency funds in these contracts, but in conversation with Bruce, who's has extensive oil and gas, so this was discovered once they got into the ground that they need these pilot hole cuttings. Correct me if I get it wrong. And Alex called me Tuesday, hey, we need to do this, got to do it right now, don't have a choice, need to do it. And that's not my position on pretty much anything. We're the customer and we do have some choices. And if it means changing engineers, if it means changing contractors, whatever it means, but having a gun to our head and saying we got to approve things is not the way I want to operate. So that's why I'm bringing it to y'all. I'm looking for a motion to approve just for technicality purposes.
And if I may, I'll elaborate on this. So what this is actually, so this is the well that's being currently drilled. So how we bid this out was a unit price with a not to exceed lump sum amount. So what you have is, and I can pass this around, but you have a unit price locked in with this contractor for these items. So what they need to do right now, what this additional $8,000 is based on the cuttings as they were drilling, we need to extend the casing another 75 feet. So the casing is going to go 75 feet deeper based on what they encountered as they were drilling. So a similar well that we got the information from Northwest Florida that was about 5 miles away had a certain depth set that we based our well on. This well needs to go deeper based on the actual soil that they encountered. So it's kind of we have our inspector out there, they determine this information, they coordinate with the contractor, and we need to make a decision kind of on the fly in order to continue the progress. It's not something we can just wait on. However, since this is a unit price contract, you have the pricing that the change order is based on locked into the contract with the contractor. There are items in here that will not be used. So right now, and I don't want to commit to this necessarily, but standby time, we have $5,000 in there. So far, they haven't used any of that. There's some additional items that can easily exceed that additional $8,000. So technically, yes, if they were to use up every single unit price and we approved this additional 75 feet, we would be $8,000 over. But by the end of this contract, we may be below the already approved lump sum amount. So it's one of those situations where, and usually we have more time to make these calls. But since it's a unit price contract, there's items we may use, there's items we may not use. Typically for a well like this, there would be something around like a $50,000 contingency. And that's what Mike Simmons, who had designed this well and put together a bid schedule, had included. However, I removed it because I know the city doesn't allow or doesn't like to use contingencies on construction projects. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So yes, we'd like to, the city manager already approved this, we'd like to get formal approval. However, we are still below the unit or the total contract amount, so we haven't exceeded it, and I don't anticipate we will, but it'd be good to get the council's kind of opinion on contingencies moving forward, especially with a project like this where.
Well, and that's what I was saying, is that's for a future meeting, not for tonight. And
Yeah.
I think I jumped off of the statement before. Bruce had a suggestion of giving the opinion of a known unknown, so that instead of a contingency, kind of the same thing, just different verbiage, but that's something that I'll be talking with y'all, and I'll be talking with Clay, and we'll cross that bridge
Fine.
another day.
Okay.
There's various things we can do contractually to account for these situations.
Exactly, yeah.
And we can have those discussions later.
Yep,
Okay, so you need a motion to approve the,
the $8,000 change.
I thought it was 7719.
Oh, I thought it was 8.
Yeah, it's, based on unit price, $7,719.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the $7,719.
I'll second it. Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris? Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dickey? Motion carried.
And then I'll just add to that as well. So typically too, how I will operate, and again, I'm open to suggestions from the city, but with these unit prices, you know, you kind of use some, you don't use others. But when we know that, hey, we're potentially going to exceed the contract amount, then definitely we will bring that before the council for a change order. And now that said, so there is an additional permit requirement on this project. It's going to require the construction of a monitoring well 50 feet away from this existing well. That is going to be a significant cost, probably in the range of $75,000. So that will be coming before the council once we have determined the price. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on this project. Y'all did get a really good bid from the one contractor. So I think their bid was around like $400,000. The second lowest bidder was around $700,000 to $800,000. But there will be that additional requirement for a monitoring well, which came up during permitting. And unfortunately, with the way the timing worked out with bidding and permitting, it wasn't something we saw coming, and it wasn't something we were able to include in the bid, so.
The monitoring well, we did know that was coming because we had had some conversations with Northwest Florida Water Management District, and they have concerns about saltwater intrusion. So there is a rhyme and reason to that.
Yeah, but just it wasn't included in this contractor's contract, so that's why it'll be a change order.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Alex, I think the rub, where it gets me is that we have just started this project.
Yeah,
And already there's boom, boom, change order, change order. Well, if it was gonna be like that, why didn't we have it in the bid to begin with?
Yeah.
And maybe we should have went with a higher bidder that has more experience, or maybe that's done it longer. Maybe there's a way that we could look at them again, because to me, right out of the gate, when you just get started on something and boom, you've already got $80,000 or $90,000 in change orders, you know, that's significantly going up and kind of
Yeah.
getting, you know, the
So-
more we go, you know, it
Oh, yeah,
just
and-
doesn't sound like we were comparing apples to apples.
well,
or
it
something
it
there.
had nothing to do with the different bidders, so I'll
Okay.
say that much. Because this is a unit price contract, they are just locked into the quantities in here. Now, the monitoring well, that happened because we originally had, I won't get too much into the weeds, but way back before we bid this out, we had a pre-application meeting with Northwest Florida. We were trying to get the permits submitted early. They would not allow the city to submit the permits early because you have to be at least within a year of your renewal for your water permit. So we moved forward with the well design. Once we hit that year, that happened to coincide with when we bid out the project. We submitted all the documentation to Northwest Florida, and then that's when they kicked back with the permit and with the stipulation that, hey, you need to have that monitoring well. So it was really a timing thing. Had we pushed off bidding out the project another, say, couple months when we were in that year, you know, or less than a year between the permit renewal, then we could have had more permits and we could have included that. But that's why. So it's not just we forgot something. It was just, you know, had to do with more of the timing. And just Northwest Florida would not give us a permit early. So, yeah.
Well, and finally, just to put a bow on it, this well is gonna be crucial because it's out there on 3280, and that's where the growth corridor is currently, so it is what it is.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, council.
Second item I have for you is I had a request for our signs in the park, the sports park, to have the ordinance numbers placed on them for no smoking, no alcohol, no whatevers. And the clerk was able to locate ordinance 94-2, which does cover alcohol, but it does not cover smoking or tobacco products or whatever. So I reached out to Clay. He did say we can amend 94.2. Just need direction from y'all as a motion to have him do that and to add whatever it is y'all want to add and make it applicable to the sports complex.
Councilman Ferris?
And Mark, I appreciate you reaching out to Clay, because I got a lot of phone calls about where we're beginning to have people wanting to drink out there, smoke out there.
Vaping probably too.
And it's something, we've got the ordinance against no alcohol on city property. And I understand about maybe having a designated place for smoking,
We have that, and
but
it has signage out
I think
there.
we need the signs that state that, and signs that people see that there is no alcohol and no smoking on city property unless in designated areas. Because this is a place for our kids to go and play, and they don't need to be around it. But I got several phone calls about an incident that happened out there.
We do have two different areas with roofs on them, basically pole barns, if you will. The signs aren't real big, but it does say designated smoking area. So y'all tell us what you want for Clay to put in the ordinance, and then we'll get the new signs with the ordinance numbers and get it all tied
So
up.
could we say like no smoking or vaping except in designated area type,
Exactly.
type
Sure.
verbiage? I
Yeah.
guess, just add it to this. What do y'all think?
I agree.
Okay, I'll make a motion for that.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Mayor,
Councilwoman Hurst?
thank you. I would just add, are we planning on making new signs completely?
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
okay, I frequent out there with all the boys playing sports, and I've witnessed this firsthand myself. But one of the other things is the e-bikes transgressing our fields, and so if we're gonna make new signs that have all of the stuff on them, because the sign has more than just the alcohol, and, it's one sign for kind of all the rules. I'd like for us to either entertain, I know we don't want to dive into the e-bike rules just yet, because we're waiting on the state to make some decisions, the county, and us to kind of, mimic what they do there. But as far as just being on the green, I think that we could at least add that verbiage, because it is so dangerous for anybody to be on a bike when the field's got 600-700 patrons and players playing soccer in the morning, and you've got children on really fast bikes going through there. And so, they obviously have the paths to be on. So I just would think if we're going to make any kind of change, if we could just add something to that effect.
I agree.
Should we finish this one and then make another for him to add that to the sign, like a separate motion? Because we're gonna adjust this ordinance,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, no,
Okay.
I just wanted
That's
to
fine with
mention,
me.
with
It's
the
fine with me.
signs, if we were going to be making new signs, just to kind
That's
of
fine.
entertain putting something like
think
that on
that's
there.
fine.
So, yeah, you go ahead and,
Yes, for me, yes.
yes, all city parks, yes, yes.
Okay, so the motion is for him to redo the ordinance 94.2
Yes, sir.
and for us to have new signs made, which includes no smoking, no drinking, no vaping.
Yep,
Okay?
yes, sir.
Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brandon? And Councilman Dickey?
Aye.
Motion carried.
So I would just add, make a motion that when we are doing the revision of our sign, that we
Yep.
also add no bikes or e-bikes on the green. What do you think, Brett? I would include all bikes.
Yes, I totally agree on that, because we have issues.
All vehicles, yes, yes. No bikes, e-bikes, or vehicles of any kind
On the
on the
green
green at
space.
any city park,
Okay,
added to our signage.
is that a motion?
You make
That's
that
made a
a
motion, yes.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded for that. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brannon? And Councilman Dickey?
Aye.
Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, sir. Engineering?
Evening, council. I apologize for this addition. It was an item that I meant to include with the previous change order for the additional materials for the vacuum sewer project. I don't have copies of the change order with me, but I'd be looking for an additional $640.70 for grommets. They're required for the valve pits. It was an item that was supposed to be included with the previously approved $100,000 change order, but we'd like to get these grommets coming and included on that same shipment. And unfortunately, I need a signature for that.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Councilwoman Hafner?
You know that I don't like to approve
I-
things without seeing
I-
anything.
I
You're asking for
completely and I
600.
apologize.
I know, but it's just,
Yes.
we've been down this road though, that we need to physically, like, I need to look at that.
I
you
have
know.
it right here on my phone, but yeah,
I know,
I
but-
apologize.
We
It's
just
just,
can't
yeah,
keep doing
I
this,
don't
though.
wanna, they're trying to ship them out next week, and I don't wanna delay the project by 2 weeks.
I
so.
understand, but we've been down this road, like, please don't come and ask us to approve
Oh,
things
no,
without
I
paperwork.
have no idea how I forgot to print them.
I
It
know.
just, yeah,
I just don't like that personally at all.
yeah, no, I agree, and I apologize.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
I don't want to vote on this. I haven't seen it. I'm
under Just say
When
no.
is the order, I mean,
Yeah. What's that?
next week you said the order's going out?
They have been very tough to get equipment shipped quickly. So, yeah, they're supposedly, this is a quote we've been trying to work through and
Could
get
you like
for-
print it and we come back to it in a minute, like just so I can look at it at least?
Yeah, I mean, if I
just-
have a way to, or
Do
even
we
if I
have an
can
air
email
print?
it to
Like,
you.
could we do that
Yeah.
and just come,
Mhm.
would y'all be okay with let us come
No, I
back
think-
to
I
it,
think
just
it's-
so I could read it?
We really do
Could we
need
all
to know.
read it?
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be
Agreed
great.
to
Yeah,
Can we
and
take
again,
like
I
a 5 minute
apologize.
or something and look at
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, okay.
Is that okay?
I'll-
Eddie, do you mind
Yeah.
withdrawing the motion? I appreciate it if you don't mind.
Till he comes.
Motion's been withdrawn until later in the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, we'll move into the finance.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. The item is under tab 6, requesting a motion and approval to dispose of the security cameras that have been replaced, and also to do a budget amendment to cover the costs associated with the cameras that had not been fully depreciated in the amount of $4,565.04.
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dickey?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Legal?
Legal, you're getting your Holiday Inn Express legal here.
It's
Which-
team new. It's team
yeah.
new.
Which is, I actually used to work in state lands where we did this. I dealt with above ground stuff, but that's where I'm at Cliff now, as a matter of fact. So this is a submerged land agreement that they have redone and sent out for signature, and now it's a submerged land easement. There's a couple of different exhibits on here, but one of the ones is where our force main for sewer goes under 4 Mile Creek, under the water. That's just one of them, and there's 2 or 3, but they're all city, basically, things that are under the water. These are long-term agreements. Just need approval for the mayor or myself to be able to sign this one, and we'll send it back to them.
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dickey?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Parks?
Council, Mayor.
Good evening.
So I have two items on the agenda. The first one's gonna be approval for Little League to build scorekeeper standards behind fields 1, 2, and 3. It's where, just like 4 and 5, they have like platforms where the people get up there and keep scores. So just looking for approval for that. The wood is getting donated to Little League. Frank's here if you wanna have him give you some more information.
I know you're gonna do a good job. I'll make a motion to approve.
The
And-
one caveat I will interject is I spoke with Clay about this in advance, and he wanted on the record that the Little League will acknowledge that once this is built and completed, that it's become city property, so. Okay.
Okay, so there's been a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dickey? Motion carried.
Thank you. All right, the second one is the approval for the 4th of July parade. Just looking for approval for that so we can get on record and we can get our permit.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Yep.
Okay, motion been made and seconded for to have the parade. This has to be on record so we can get a permit. That's the
Yes,
purpose
yes,
of it,
sir.
Yes.
okay?
From our friends at FDOT.
Yep.
Any comments? Any further comments? Public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilman Brandt? And Councilman Dickey? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy.
Thank you.
Planning?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. If you will turn to tab 10 in your books. Tonight, we're holding the second reading of the revised park ordinance, and if you will look at page 4 of 7, you will see the highlighted portion that's actually being added. And it's activities in the park for financial gain or nonprofit fundraisers. And it says specifically, no person shall conduct any activity or utilize any park or park area in a manner which would result in financial gain unless prior permission is granted by the parks director and the appropriate fee is paid. Nonprofit organizations may conduct fundraisers with prior approval of the parks director by obtaining the proper permit. So that is the only change to this existing park ordinance. And staff is requesting that we have second reading of this ordinance at this time. And I'm not sure, Rebecca, what ordinance number it would be. And I'm looking for a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dickey? Motion carried.
And this will be known as ordinance number 2026-05, an ordinance pertaining to city park usage within the incorporated limits of the city of Freeport, providing for authority and purpose, conflict severability, and an effective date. And the next item is the 31 Azalea Drive rezoning, and Samantha Grace will present that item for planning.
Whoops. Good evening, council. The information for this is on tab 11. Last month, we had the first reading for the 31 Azalea property. They're wanting to rezone their property from R2 to RC in order to allow for an office complex. We had the first reading and you authorized for the second reading, and I would like to have permission to do the second reading this evening.
So moved.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan, and Councilman Dickey.
Wonderful, thank you. 2026-06? An ordinance amending the zoning map series included by reference in Article 3 of the Land Development Code of the City of Freeport, specifically the parcel identified with property reference number 101S19, 23,022,0010, containing approximately .74 acres more or less, and described by the legal description contained in section 1 below, amending the zoning assignment from medium-density residential to residential commercial.
Thank you.
The add-on for registration. Oh, I'm sorry. What- So we don't want to finish planning?
Oh,
She had-
I'm sorry.
she had
I
one
thought
more.
she was finished. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the conference.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh,
I
her
did have
add-on.
one add-on. As you all know, every year, your AICP planners attend continuing education with the state APA conference. This year it is in Miami. They're holding it a month late in October. However, the beginning to be able to sign up for it is this coming Monday, which doesn't work out for the next agenda, so I had to do it as an add-on. The registration fee for each of us by signing up early is approximately $400 per person.
Okay.
And then we'll also have the prerequisite travel. We will look at flying versus driving and pick appropriately, and then it will be 4 to 5 nights in Miami at a hotel, depending on flights and what we decide.
Great.
We have more than adequate funds in our travel budget. I confirmed with Bruce that it was pretty healthy right now, and we always try to make sure that no matter where it's held, that we're able to cover that expense. So we're asking for approval to attend and cover those expenses through our travel budget.
Sure. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst,
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan, and Councilman Dickey.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Now we'll go back to engineering.
Thank you for
Provided
printing it.
Council, and thank you,
Thank you.
Rebecca.
Thank you for that.
But yeah,
Thank
so
you.
this is additional materials
Yeah.
that should have been included, and it's because the city's purchasing these materials to save on taxes.
Sure.
So on this, Alex, this freight is not included, it's gonna be a significant.
It's gonna come with the valve pits. So the freight's already been incorporated with the valve pits with the
Right.
previous change order, so yeah.
I will make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Public comment? Councilwoman Hafner?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dickey.
Thank you, council. Sorry about
Thank
that.
you. That's okay. Thank you.
Sewer?
Oh,
We've
we
already
did
got
that
sewer.
one.
Already got sewer. Under new business, Councilman Dickey?
Just before you is from the Oak Ridge Walking Transportation Planning Organization, Thursday, May 21st, meeting the agenda is the first 32 pages. I'm not going to go through it line by line. Also, the more thick item is the 5-year projects, the draft, so you can go through that. Of course, the first thing pertaining to us is Marquise Way.
Right.
Listed on there is number 4, and then down in the 8 is Highway 20 is listed on there.
With no funding in
And
5
then there's
years.
other things that you got.
It looks like a lot of blank funding lines there, Tracy. It's kind
Well,
of sad.
that's it.
Like, shoot. But
Any
thanks for
questions?
bringing
Thank
it.
you for bringing
Yeah,
this.
so
Thank you for
this is
bringing
your
it.
information.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Thank you, Mayor. So as everybody knows, we got underway with our lighting project and completed the Memorial Park and had the reveal about a month ago, and really excited about that. Turned out fabulously. So this is the proposal for the second phase. So they are ready to start that part of the process. Rebecca, were we able to do the renderings? We've got some renderings here to give an idea of what that will include. But just to kind of recap on that, that will be everything in front of City Hall, including the
Nice.
parking area, illuminating our flag out front, our statues, and just to make it cohesive from the Memorial Park over to City Hall. And then the third phase will be the completion of our city grounds, and that will be for the community center. So this would be phase 2, and I'd like us to go ahead and entertain moving forward with that. And I'm going to make a motion that we approve the bid for $61,350 and begin phase 2.
I will second it.
Yeah.
So a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment? Councilwoman Hafner.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hirsch.
Aye.
Councilman Ferris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan. And Councilman Dick.
Aye.
Motion carries. Councilwoman Hafner.
Thank you, Mayor. With all the talk, from the BCC meeting about data centers, I wanted to bring it to the council if we wanted to entertain a, ordinance to ban data centers and facilities that use exorbitant amounts of electricity and water and things like that that really pull on our natural resources. So I just wanted to bring that to consideration, that Clay could bring that back to us to look at if the council was interested in that.
Councilwoman Brennan.
I think that's a great idea. I'm glad you added it on, because I would have if you wouldn't have, but I think that's an excellent idea, and I would like the ordinance to really go, and maybe give a lot of teeth into it, to go as far as,
Yeah.
How much they would be allowed to have, and water and this type of thing, any type of industry that comes in.
Right,
They can't
right.
drain our resources, and there's some language out there that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I can talk with Clay about it too, but I want us to get that ordinance. I think that's really important. As a real estate broker, I can tell you I've had 3 calls in the last 8 months about people looking for property in this area to put a data center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Stop them from applying if you guys would set some parameters.
Right, right.
Thank you.
yeah.
Well, and I know the county's gonna bring something, but I wanted to cover us at the
Yeah.
city in case they do,
Absolutely.
or maybe they do verbiage we don't care for, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to bring it, so Clay can bring that back. We don't have to have a motion for him to bring that back, right?
I would make a
We need to okay, I'll make a motion then to have him bring us something back at our, whenever he can. I'm not sure if next meeting is too soon or not, but when he can. I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay, a motion's
You're
been made and
welcome.
seconded for Clay to draw up an ordinance
Yes, sir.
pertaining to the data center
Yes, sir.
information. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Yes, sir. Please come up and state your name.
Good evening. My name is Keith Blanchard. I wasn't here to speak about this, but we were just talking about it on the way over. And when I heard you mention saltwater intrusion, I Googled it. And then I looked it up on Grok, which, as you know, they have an AI data center, which I'm very familiar with because I came from Memphis and I was approached by them. We actually got $1 million donated to our organization, a nonprofit, with all kinds of promises, all kinds of statements made, and none of them have held true. You can look up on the news stories that have been out just in the last month about things that have happened, water contamination. One, the most important one, which was relevant to the discussion tonight and what was the discussion that was going to happen, the main causes overpumping of groundwater, which is called saltwater intrusion. Overpumping of groundwater, heavy well use lowers freshwater levels and opens the door to saltwater to move in. And then there's several others, but that's the primary one. So what we saw there was an enormous amount of water being used when they promised they were going to use gray water, recycled water to do it. It's not. They told us it was going to be an energy source that would not drain the grid. That has not happened. And right now, they're running diesel engines and methane gas motors. The people that live in that neighborhood, luckily I didn't live in that neighborhood, but I had, one of my businesses was there. And you could hear it sound like jet engines getting ready to take off any minute. So, that's just one that I know about. I've heard other stories from other, I do know that Alachua County found out just yesterday that an application has been submitted to build one in Alachua County where I used to live and in Pinellas. And the only reason they found out was a tech nerd was doing some research and he found a URL that had tech center something something / Alachua County. And so they had already gone down the road of trying to get this approved. If they can get it approved in Alachua County, which is pretty well known for environmental protection, I don't think it'll be a big step for them to push out farther. So that's not what I came here tonight, but it was
Yeah.
perfect
No, thank you,
timing, so I
though.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you, sir, for your information. We
Yes, sir.
appreciate that.
Thank
Any further comments? Councilwoman Hafner? Do we have a motion for the ordinance?
do need to make a vote, yes, sir. Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst?
Aye.
Councilman Ferris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brennan? And Councilman Dixon?
Aye.
I know it's not me tonight. Okay. So that's approved, and we'll get in touch with Clay
Clay.
for that.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other public comment that anyone would have tonight about anything? If not, meeting is adjourned.